Fantastic. So welcome everybody to the latest Jodel webinar. This one's a little bit different because we're not hearing from a techie company talking about the latest resource. We're hearing from Gabrielle, an author of a book all about languages. So it's still all about languages, of course, but it's a little bit different tonight. I'm really looking forward to this session. I've been tweeting about it, saying how much I've been looking forward to it, and that's absolutely the case. So welcome everybody. It's great to be here. As per normal, we've got the chat running, so feel free to introduce yourselves if you haven't done already. Feel free to write questions in the chat. We'll then put those questions to Gabrielle after the webinar. We won't be doing the questions live, but we have got a couple of questions that we've pre-planned that we're going to look at a bit later. So today is the 31st of March, 2021. Isn't time flying? And the night's already getting lighter, and it's absolutely beautiful on the Isle of Wight here, I must say. And I must get out a bit more and go for some lovely walks. But before we get onto that, let me introduce my lovely guest today, Gabrielle Hogan-Brun, who's going to talk us a little bit about how she got into languages, first of all, and then, of course, about the book. So why would an English-speaking student want to study languages at university? Is it worth it? Will it lead to a good job? What's involved? Joining us today to discuss these questions is Professor Gabrielle Hogan-Brun from Bristol. She works on multilingualism and has widely researched how individuals and societies use languages. She's a practicing multilingual herself and says she likes to enthuse people to learn and use languages. She finds that it is languages that make her who she is. Gabrielle's publications about multilingualism include her recent book, Lingonomics, in which she looks into the market potential of multilingualism. Just out now is her latest book, Why Study Languages, published by London Publishing Partnership, which Gabrielle is going to talk about today. Gabrielle, welcome to the webinar. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself, about your languages journey? Over to you.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining in, and thanks for organizing this webinar, Joe. So I grew up in Switzerland, where languages form an integral part of the curriculum, and that's up to the age of 18. Typically, German, French, and English are learned there, in addition to the mother tongue. But Switzerland is not unique in this approach to languages. Across much of the EU and more widely, it is quite common for students to learn 2 additional languages at school. The idea is that knowing another language is empowering and helps you connect the wider world. When I decided to write this book because I got approached by the London Publishing Partnership. They run a successful new Why Study book series that's designed for students, their parents, and teachers. Each book tries to enthuse readers, explaining where the subject can take them in terms of careers or future study, the study options they have, and also to answer further practical questions. So far, there are books covering geography, history, mathematics, and now also languages. I accepted the publisher's invitation to write this book because I feel the world is in a better place if people understand and respect each other. And I care about how young people grow into this world and about the choices they make to navigate their lives in our times of very rapid change, really. So I've prepared some slides to illustrate some points that I'm making in this book. I wanted to offer readers a book that's quite different from others that are currently available. Focus is not primarily on how to learn languages. There are very many books talking about that, but the focus is on why we learn them. It explains what languages are about, their excitements, their challenges, the skills they provide, and what we can achieve with them. It is a practical book that's firmly aimed at students, the way they see themselves, and how languages can shape their lives. I bring them the facts about languages, the benefits of having skills in languages, and explore them with them the possible reasons why they might decide to take up language study. But unfortunately, there are several misconceptions about languages, potentially deterring would-be learners. Let's just look at a few of these. One that you probably hear now and then is, I can get an instant translation easily, so don't need to know languages. And in fact, yes, electronic translation can be useful. I use it as well quite frequently, but it does have its limitations. As we all know, Google Translate is a language decoder. This can get things wrong in the absence of context. Here's an example where a mistranslation means things are misunderstood. A chain of shops in Wales recently spotted this sign. As you can see, it offers alcohol-free drinks in Welsh, but had become free alcohol in the English translation. Welsh-speaking Guto Aren spotted this and he tweeted very quickly, "Get yourselves to Asta." According to their dodgy Welsh translations, they're giving away free alcohol. So this small vignette shows that knowing another language is at least a practical means to stop content getting lost in translation. Then there is an intuitive belief that everyone speaks English anyway. So by implication, why bother? But the facts tell otherwise. Chinese and Spanish have more speakers than English. And 2/3 of the world's population speak no English. For most people who speak English, it's an additional language. They, like the majority of people around our globe, are multilingual, and this means that they have an advantage. Of course, we can easily hear different languages in any urban area around us. This is a tube map of London. We know that well over 300 language communities live in London, probably many more. Some quite sizable. It is a fact that multilingualism is quite normal in many places. So there is no doubt that everyone in this forum will be aware of the many social, cultural, cognitive benefits of knowing languages. These are widely cited. But what is less known are the economic benefits of having skills in languages. That's what I would like to focus on briefly now for you. How many people in this forum know that the language graduate earns more 5 years after graduation than a lawyer? You can see here the latest UK government statistics that were published in 2020. They show that the median salary 5 years after graduation is greater for languages than, say, for law, putting language graduates comfortably in the middle of the pack, as you can see there in the yellow highlights, ahead of those in biosciences, education and journalism, for example. This may be surprising, but somebody with languages is very versatile. Then, how many people know that the employers actively seek out bilinguals because their contribution to team efforts mean more innovation and hence profits? Why? You may ask. Company leaders see multi-language teams as a key resource, in fact, because it's been shown that different ways of expressing things in collaboration can be useful in developing new ideas for innovative solutions to practical problems. These creative benefits add value in research, design, production, and marketing. Bilingual employees are, of course, a valuable asset in all international organizations to break language barriers, from transport and logistics to public and of course customer relations. And to reach consumers from different language backgrounds in advertising, of course, as well, through marketing. Then also in public service, the police, the courts, at the healthcare frontline and more, there is always a high demand for people skilled in different languages. For example, in any emergency setting and in customer services, it makes a huge difference when you can say, I speak your language. As students, you need to be reassured that your skills in languages is always be in demand in the job market. I give some real life stories in the book from ordinary and famous people. Among them are students, artists, migrants, reporters, and managers. Their trajectories show how languages have the power to shape our life, our future, in fact. What drove them to learn languages was curiosity, creativity, idealism, passion for a language or culture, perseverance, as in sports, career expectations, to create, achieve, connect, survive, and do many more things in life. Among these people, we meet, for example, Tommy Myers, a prize-winning chef and founder of the Oaxaca restaurant chain. She says, there's this whole resonating kind of language going on that draws you in. The flavor and the language are linked because the taste, the memory, and the words are all bound up into one. That one decision to learn the Spanish language has shaped my entire career, has shaped what I have done with my life. That's the chef. Then there is the Grand Slam winner, Martina Navratilova, who says, she's Czech, by the way. 2 passports expanded my horizons, transformed my life, and opened up the world. The game of tennis and languages. Becoming multilingual has sharpened my brain and my reflexes. Beyond tennis, I think speaking more than one language helps make you a better person too. Very big statements, I think. So the key message, I believe, is that skills in languages present opportunities for travel, study, employment at home and abroad. They have value, ensuring communication in life and work at any age. And they have a necessary resource that is in demand across all sectors, as we have seen, from marketing to business to technical jobs, healthcare, in the arts, in entertainment, and much, much more. I'm coming to the end of this brief introduction to the book. And in conclusion, I would like to say that I firmly believe that languages are not just a nice extra. They are, in fact, a core skill. I think everybody in this forum would probably agree that languages are part of a well-rounded education. You only need to learn one more language, any language, big or small, to understand more, to do more, to get more done. So this resource surely is worth investing in, both societally and for us as individuals. So I'd like to thank you for your interest in languages. Keep learning, keep enjoying them. I'm giving you here full references, and I'm going to hand back to Jonah.
That was lovely, Gabrielle. Thank you so much. That was really fascinating. I particularly liked the way in which the chef talked about the fact that she didn't realize how it would change her life completely by learning Spanish. I think that's absolutely fantastic, and I'm sure that's something we can all resonate with. That was brilliant. Thank you so much. That was great. So we've got a couple of questions now that we were sent before the webinar. I'm just going to go through the first question. We'll have Gabrielle's answer, and then we'll look at the second question. So the first question is playing devil's advocate, if you like. So the first question is, what's the point of learning another language at university, given the cost, when people in professional jobs overseas typically speak English? I ask as someone who once worked for a German firm with a Dutch boss where they all spoke English really well. What would your answer be to that, Gabrielle?
I think that's a really good question. Several answers I could follow on from here, but I guess a lot depends on your ambition within this company, for instance. If you only speak English in a German firm, you can never really fully understand the firm's origin, its missions, its goals, I think. You will fill a niche position for sure, but the language ceiling might prevent you from, say, becoming the CEO if you had that kind of ambition in life. I bet, though, that boss, being Dutch, had a knowledge of German. Anyway, we don't know, but wouldn't surprise me. Of course, I think many international companies now have adopted English as an enabler. It makes sense to do that. Honda uses English worldwide and has been doing so since 2020. But that president and CEO still is Japanese. And then also talking about the more social side of living in another country. If you're operating, say, for instance, in Brazil, where not many people are known to be speaking English, some kind of below 10%. So if you work there, you will probably do well, but you may struggle socially outside your work. So there's that side to life as well. That's very important indeed.
That's lovely. That lovely answer. That's fantastic. So the second question, which leads on in a way from the first one, which is the following: even if one accepts that learning a language is a good idea, which of course we all know it's a good idea, but then we are preaching to the converted, I suppose. Even if one accepts that learning a language is a good idea, why learn it at university? Wouldn't it be smarter to pursue a degree in, say, economics and then learn French in one's own time via some online course? That's quite provocative, isn't it? What would you say to that one?
Interesting, that one. Yeah. I think here again, a lot depends on your ambitions, how you see yourself in life. And I think, at university, I used to teach university students who did another subject, like who took medicine, but with French, or dentistry with German, or other subjects. What this meant was that your French lectures, in this case, they may well have an economic slant. And so that gives you a technical vocabulary that you will need if you want to go and work in such a place later on, or if you're in an international firm, would be useful. So you may even then sometimes be given lectures by French-speaking economists as well. And you may also end up spending a semester in Paris, which will give you the whole transformative experience of speaking a language. You'll be examined to high level by professional language teachers. And then, last but not least, serendipity will inform your education and lead to a rich experience, particularly when you can go abroad. But then, if you do an online course, on the other hand, that will give you probably more a sort of generic vocabulary, the little possibility of interaction with other language speakers studying your subject. So you can't practice what you're doing. There will be no exam to revise for, and my hunch is you might give up the course before actually it finishes. So you could say, with all things in life, you really get what you pay for.
That's lovely. That's lovely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think the opportunity of going to the country, learning the language in the country, is, you just can't beat that. It's one could do a lot online, but it's not the same as going to the country, speaking with the locals, learning new words in context. That's just fantastic, Gabrielle. Thank you so much for those answers and for telling us about your lovely book. We're now going to move on to the competition, which I'm sure you're all very excited about. So, Richard, if I could ask you to turn on your microphone and your webcam, and then you can let us know about the entries that we had in, and draw or announce the competition winners, should I say. Over to you, Richard.
Joe, and thank you, Gabrielle. I have to confess, I was the person that asked that latter question. I feel guilty because it was a tough one. And while you
it was a doozy, it was a good question, but it was a doozy. Yeah, definitely.
It's unfair, but actually, as you were speaking, I thought actually, you know, in a way, languages should be more assertive in the sense that maybe the answer should be, you know, to hell with economics. Study a language because it trumps economics. Go study your economics in an evening class. But get a languages degree first. Anyway, the winners. If I just read the names out, I'm not sure if these people are all here. But the message is, if you are here and listening and hear your name, just drop me a line with your postal address, and then I'll send you a copy of the book. So we've got Pascal Bone, Emma Norman, Alex Peel, and Sabine Pichou.
That's lovely.
Okay.
Fantastic.
I'll email them all anyway. But that's and thank you very much for entering. There were some really, really good answers there.
I mean, talking of answers, would it be okay, do you think, to read one of them out?
Oh, okay.
I've got them in front. Well, I've got them in front of me right now. I don't know if you've got them in front. I think, you know, I'm sure it would be something that we can all like nod along to. That'd be lovely.
Yeah. Okay.
As we've got a few minutes, so that's okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'm genuinely picking one at random, actually, because I think they were all equally good. So this was Sabine, who said, "Why study languages is a question teachers come across often in the classroom. A response could be as follows: why not study languages? Why would students not want to broaden their cultural horizons, learn lifelong skills, build lifelong friendships, learn about different cultures while increasing their understanding of their own culture, history, and language, and strengthen their cross-curricular knowledge, and start the journey on a path that could lead to anywhere? In an increasingly competitive multicultural world, why would students want to impose limits on themselves? Retraining students to think in this way could be the golden ticket for anyone keen to promote language learning in the current climate of uncertainty."
Yeah, that's lovely. And I think that chimes with what Gabrielle was saying as well, what we were talking about a moment ago. Yeah, brilliant. Art linguists, amazing people. It's just absolutely fantastic. Lovely. Thank you so much, Richard, for the competition. And I'm sure that the those people who are the worthy winners, including Pascal, who's with us right now, who's said thank you very much in the chat, which is lovely. Okay. We will contact you. We have your email addresses, or if you want to get into contact with Richard with your postal address, we can then send those out to you. But that was really lovely, fantastic. So again, thank you to London Publishing Partnership for this opportunity. Thank you so much to Gabrielle for talking about your lovely book. We have got a couple of questions which I will pass on to Richard to pass on to Gabrielle, and then they will be able to get back to you about those people that have asked those lovely questions. That's brilliant. And I'd just like to thank everyone for coming along. I know it's quite a short and sweet webinar tonight, but that was the idea, and it's been great. It's been, as I said, it was a departure from what I normally do in these sorts of webinars. But it's lovely to have an author, a real life author, with us, sharing your love of languages. So thank you so much, Gabrielle. Do you want to finish off with a few final words, possibly?
It's been a great honor to talk to you, and I do hope that languages will be the spice of life for many of you who are considering doing it. It's certainly enriching and wonderful to do it, and you can keep going all your life. So definitely a good plan.
That's a lovely way to finish. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much. That's great. So I'm going to stop recording right now. and then I will end the meeting in a second. There we are.